How would you describe the incident?
Just passionate, heartfelt, overzealous, maybe a touch, yeah.
Okay.
I think I know why we're going crazy.
We're not crazy, we just can't control ourselves sometimes.
I think we need girlfriends.
We need two women in the same situation we're in.
You mean two girls living in basement?
No, dude, I mean two girls that are crazy.
What's your name?
Bonnie.
Bonnie, I'm glad you are crazy.
So, you and my buddy, you're in a relationship now, huh?
I don't think that's any of your business, Bill.
What? But if you are with Andy, you're also with me. You're gonna be my mommy.
Change my poopy diaper, mommy.
I feel like I'm bothering your friend. I don't want to upset him anymore.
You like him, I can tell.
You're homeless, crazy, and pregnant.
I have to get a job.
Dude, you don't need a job, you just need money.
This isn't going on.
No.
Dude, it's your hair bristles, they're like Velcro. Are we going crazy again?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Dude, I'm nothing without you.
Dude, I don't want to hurt you.
You rob a bank, you have a good, healthy baby. Think about it.
Stop talking about my baby.
Man, ask yourself this terrible little question. Are we normal men?
No.
Hey,
Bill?
I'm actually going on safari. You know what I mean?
I don't, and I don't want to.
Frankly, it sounds like you're crazy.
You can't say that to mental patients.
So you know what we gotta do now, right?
Yo, we gotta her back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. I'm Joe Vanourney. Some of Our Stallions is the name of a new movie. It is coming out on video on demand July 2nd. And today we have the triple threat here. There's three people sitting here, but between the three of them, the three stars, there's the producer, the writer, the director. They're doing it all. We have Carson Mell, Al D, and Olivia Taylor Dudley. Carson, Al, Olivia, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV.
Thank you.
Hello.
Carson, we'll start with you. This is your baby. You're the writer, you're the director, you're the star. Talk about the genesis of the film, what your initial idea for it was, and you know what you wanted it to be going in.
The idea came from actually these characters, Beautiful Bill and Andy, were antagonists in another script I wrote that almost came to fruition. But as that project fell apart, I just became so obsessed with them and wanted to see more of their adventures that I wrote a spin-off essentially of that script about them. And then along the way, I met this person at the Sundance Screenwriters Labs who really inspired me, and she became the character of Bonnie. And I had this trio of characters, and I fell in love with them more and more the more I thought about them. And luckily, all the resources came together to actually make the movie, which is the hardest part, usually. And yeah, we have some of our
a general overview of a synopsis of what the movie is in terms of story and themes.
I would say, I mean, the story is about these two oddballs who are struggling with mental health, their own, and decide that romantic love will be a cure to what they're going through. Somewhat immaturely making that assumption, and then finding that those types of relationships can just complicate and, while enrich your life, also lead to shifting dynamics. Is how I would describe it.
It's kind of the theme of it. It's the romantic love versus the enduring love of friendship and the battle between the two, right?
Yeah, that's a good description as well. But that they don't always synchronize.
Right. Now you play Bill, not just Bill. You play Beautiful Bill.
Yes.
Tell everybody who is Beautiful Bill. What's he about?
Beautiful Bill, I think he's about trying to juice the most joy and experience out of every moment, and that can lead him down some dangerous roads. He's nonconformist, to the degree that usually lands people in prison.
And Al, you're in this film. You played Beautiful Bill's friend Andy. What can you tell us about the character of Andy?
I think Andy is very comfortable with himself. It's funny, right now I have this realization. Maybe Andy is a Buddhist because he's really living in his world. He don't have too much money. He's not very handsome, but he feels good. He's very chill. When he meets a beautiful woman like Bonnie, who is Olivia, he just go for it. He just go for it. He expresses his love to a beautiful woman. That's a very good thing to do. I think that's Andy. That's who is Andy. Very comfortable with himself.
I'm amazed at your performance in this film because your normal job is a film producer. You've produced many films, Brigsby Bear being one of the most recent notable ones. You've never really been in front of the camera as an actor before, and your performance is very sweet. It's you make me laugh. There's a sincerity to your performance. What made you want to step in front of the camera as an actor and do that instead of staying in the producer role? What was it about this film or this character that made you want to start acting?
So I decided to give you the truth because when I say this, Carson said, "Oh, I mean, Carson. I mean, and produce all these films. One of the most biggest headache is you have to wait for all these movies that are radio script. Sometimes you sit there one month, 2 months. They don't read your script. So that's the biggest headache for me. I really want to make a movie. So me and Carson, we talk about this. He also feel this kind of pain, waiting for the big actor read your script. So one day, Carson was joking around. He said, "LD, maybe we should become an actor. If one day we become a bankable actor, we just put ourselves in the movie. We can get movie made." So that's the primer. That's cause this movie got made. And then I received this script. I loved it. And then the rest is the history.
So now that you've got this first film, this first performance under your belt, have you discovered this is going to be a new career path? Are you going to keep acting, or did you like? I mean, how was the experience?
I can't say much, but Aldi has been cast in a big project that we can't talk about it here, but it's breaking news.
Awesome. Well, we look forward.
It will continue. The acting career will continue.
Awesome. Now, Olivia, you play the role of Bonnie in the film. What can you tell us about Bonnie? What about that character attracted you to the role?
Yeah, I mean, I love Bonnie. The second I read the script, I loved that we were meeting this woman in at the end of her rope. She's in a dark place in her life right now, and I find that it's more interesting to play characters that have somewhere to go. She needs to get her life together, and she can't quite do it. And I just love that. When the thing that sold me when I first read the script is the scene when they pick her up, the opening scene, and she gets in the car without questioning them, and they start questioning her, like, why would you even get in the car without an explanation? And I thought that was so funny. Like, who is this woman that just doesn't care? Like, where is she in her life that she got to the point where she just doesn't care? And yeah, I think that it's really fun to watch her open up to Andy and to Bill as it goes on and trust them. And that's something as an adult you don't normally meet new friends, and learning to trust other adults can be a difficult thing. And they just show her so much love and acceptance. And I find that that's a really important story that we should be telling. So, yeah.
Carson, you and Al have such a great real relationship in the film. Your two characters, it comes across like you guys have known each other your whole lives. How long did you two know each other before you started playing these characters in real life?
We knew each other about 1.5 years, but before we made the movie, Al came to Los Angeles and lived with myself and my wife. And we actually, I don't even know if Al remembers this, but I made us like get beers and put them in our pockets and walk around and act like the characters in the streets for a couple of days. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
So we walked around and got buzzed and acted foolish to sort of practice as the characters. Aside from actually rehearsing the script, we also did some weird sort of experimental theater for our own benefit. That was pretty fun.
And what was it about him when you met him that was the character, like when you were writing the script, always inspired by him? Like, this is Al's going to play this character, or how far into the process were you when you're like, oh, Al would be good for this part?
Al is very similar to the character. He wears his heart on his sleeve, so he seemed like a natural fit for it. And when you're casting someone who's just beginning their path of acting, you don't want to put them in a role that doesn't reflect themselves, because a lot of what you're going to be getting, I think, when people are learning is I think actors are always playing some facet of themselves, but at the beginning, to be playing that most present part of who you are makes the job easier for both actor and director. So meeting Al and talking to him and knowing that he was weirdly like the character in the script, I was like, well, I know he can do this because I've seen it.
And Olivia, I might be wrong on this, but you knew Al. You were friends with Al before this film, and that's how you came on board the project. Is that?
Yeah, I know. I was friends with Al. I don't know, a year or something like that. At Times an Illusion, but Al and I were friends, and we talked about working on a different project together that it didn't end up going. But then he sent me this script for Stallions, and I was interested right away. First of all, the title, I have horses, so I thought it was about horses, which got me very excited. I thought it was a movie about stallions, but it was not. But I immediately fell in love with the script and told him I wanted to do it. So I got introduced to Carson, and once Carson said that he wanted me in the movie, I was stoked. But yeah, and then we all became friends.
Now, the great Mike Judge is one of the executive producers of the film, and he has a part in the film as well. Carson, you've written for Mike in Silicon Valley, and I'm a press notes that I have says he's one of your mentors. Talk about Mike Judge, what your relationship is with him, and how he came on board the film.
Well, I was lucky enough, he had to get a job working for him on Silicon Valley, and we worked together for 5 years and just really enjoyed each other's sense of humor working on that show, and it was a dream come true for me. And so when that show wrapped up, I was immediately looking for the next thing to work on with him, and he was kind enough to come onto this project as an EP and offer his guidance on the script and throughout the process, and obviously being in it. So yeah, I'm just, one of the great things about moving to LA is those opportunities to work with people who growing up you admired their work. So yeah, I feel really grateful and fortunate to know Mike and get to work with him.
What is he like as I've met him before, and you expect one thing from the work that you see that he makes, and he to me, and the time I met him, and I've talked to other people that met him, he's more serious in real life. He's not the goofy guy you'd think he is. What's he like to work with as a person? Is he when's the humor turn on? I guess
He's well, the humor turns on when appropriate, sort of. Like I sometimes find in LA there's nothing more exhausting than like a funny person who feels like everything they need to say should be funny. You know, you hang out with certain comedian types like that, and you're like, okay, let's have some like real moments here. So Mike's funny in the writer's room, where he needs to write the jokes. He's funny in conversation once you're close with him. But yeah, he's I think a lot of people, and I would put myself in the same camp, can be pretty flamboyant when they're performing or writing, but they're you know, they have very good manners. Mike has very good manners. So
there's a lot of humor in the film. The scene near the beginning where Beautiful Bill and Andy decide that they're going to go to the mall and meet women, real women, and their pickup lines. Andy meets a woman and he asks her, "Oh, you look like a nice person. What's your nightly skin regimen routine?" Like there's like lines like that. Are those lines all in the script, or is there improv that goes on while you're doing scenes like that?
That sequence in particular was improvised, and Al ran that line by me before he said it, and I was like, "That's really funny. Definitely said that."
The film has humor moments. There's a lot of humorous lines, but there's also the theme that's running out. There's a mental illness theme. The characters, Beautiful Bill, makes decisions that aren't necessarily the wisest and acts out in ways that aren't necessarily the wisest. So there's when dealing with scenes like that with the mental illness, there can be a level of discomfort to the audience. Like if you do it too much in that way, the audience can be a little like, "Well, I don't want to watch get this guy making bad decisions." But then there's humor to balance it out. What's it like as a Carson, as a writer and director, and then as an actor, balancing that line so that it doesn't go too much? You don't want to make the characters cartoon characters. You want to keep them real, but you don't want it to go too dark necessarily, and you want to keep the audience, in that line. What's it like balancing that out?
It's not really a intellectual process. It's sort of, if you've been, when you've been making like silly things your whole life, like I've been making crazy little comedy things probably since I was like 9 years old. Hopefully you find that balance, right? And the balance will be idiosyncratic to yourself. So there are people who won't like it, but you hope that there's enough in that, oh, this is the balance I was looking for. This is the flavor I like. And I think if you can just keep the performances genuine and real, I never try to be funny. I just try to like execute it the way I would say it in real life. And that's sort of what I look for from actors as well. I think that's like a good path to that.
I'll throw that same question out to Al and Olivia. What's it like as actors balancing that line, playing characters that are having struggles in their lives, but also putting humor into the role?
Olivia, you first.
Thank you, Al. I think that it's the key for me always, especially in a comedy, is you have to stay grounded. And luckily Bonnie is kind of the grounded straight man in the scenes already. So for me, I was, and sometimes there were times where Carson would be like, "No, more, drop into more of your real voice and like just be yourself, just say that like yourself," which is always a good reminder as an actor, because if you're trying to play something, it's not going to come off ever how you're trying to play it. So if you just play it like a human being and you're just being grounded in the scene and listening to the other characters, it's always going to end up being more funny. But Bonnie's not the funny character, so I'm not. I just kind of was there to let the jokes fly around me in the scenes and to be the one that wasn't getting the jokes necessarily. It wasn't funny to Bonnie, some of these jokes, which to me as a viewer, as an audience member, is funny. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Al?
Because I feel like nobody in this real world is a one-dimensional people. Everybody's multi-dimensional people. So when I play Andy, first of all, he's confident of himself, but also he's very sad. He's very sorrow. He's so much sorrow in his heart, but also he looking for love. All these things very complex. So for me, when I deliver each performance, I just try to be. Even Carson was like, sometimes you have to be real to be a good actor. For me, I'm first-time actor. I just try as much as I can channel my real emotion into the character. So I remember the first 3 days I have to try to find who is Andy, but after the first 3 days I really totally get who is Andy. That's how I portray that character.
Yeah, Al is really good too. English not being his first language, like there was the aspect of in real life, Al will have to repeat himself sometimes, and that's something we left in the movie. Like in that joke you mentioned about the skincare routine, I think he says it twice, right? It's like, what's your skincare routine? Your skin, you know, to like, why is she not responding to me? She must not understand me. But that's not the issue, you know.
Well, the film is called Some of Our Stallions. Comes out on video on demand on July 2nd. And Carson, Al, Olivia, I wish you all good luck and the best wishes for the success of the film and all of your future endeavors. And thank you so much for chatting with us today on Cherry the Geek TV.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank
Bye.
you.